Good evening, and it's 7 o'clock, and we welcome you to the December 17th meeting of the City Council. Tonight we have a relatively light calendar moving towards the reorganization, ultimately later in the on the agenda. One thing I'm going to do initially here, I want to let you know, on item 4B, I'm going to move that to just ahead of item 12. That's the certification of the election just before we swear in the members. Since we're now called to order, would I ask for the city clerk to please take the roll?
Councilmember Cloven,
I'm here.
Tillman,
Here.
Juan,
Here.
Vice Mayor Trupiano,
I'm here.
Mayor Diaz.
Yes, here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. And now would you please stand and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we'll now move to the item of non-agenda items, and I have one card from Kathy Scullin. If she would like to come forward. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Scullin from Girl Scout Troop 32379. I'm an 8th grader at Diablo View Middle School. I'm here to discuss my upcoming plans for my Silver Award. My current goal is to create a monthly or quarterly animal adoption event in downtown Clayton, starting in March, with the assistance of the Contra Costa County Shelter. We plan to bring an adoption van for 3 to 4 hours and 5 to 10 animals, depending on the type. The shelter is an untapped resource in the community because it's so far away. Many people are unwilling to drive up to Martinez or are even unaware it exists. Bringing an adoption van to Clayton will provide many homes to longtime residents of the shelter. I'm looking for support from the town and a location to set up. The county will provide the van. I'm appreciative of any support you can provide. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Point of order, Mayor. I just wanted to let you all know that Katie did reach out to me and I spoke to Chris, and we thought since she was short on time, the best thing was for her to present it to us tonight so we could all hear, and then going forward, staff would just work with her to figure out the best location.
Thank you. Anybody else in Hoyer Hall that would like to speak on non-agenda items? Seeing none. Anybody online, City Clerk? Okay, I'm going to close now the public comment on non-agenda items and move to the consent calendar, which is item 4. And before we take all that up again, I've moved item 4B over to the second page, right ahead of item 12. All right, consent calendar open for discussion. Anybody wish to pull anything?
The only thing I wanted to have a little bit more discussion on was our calendar for 2025. And I know we don't have to, doesn't have to be concrete tonight, but I did talk with our city manager earlier today about having a January 21st meeting. I know Councilmember Juan, you won't be here, but just throwing that up for option. And I think all the other dates sounded right. Because
So what's the direction we're going?
is it possible at this time to determine if we're going to have a January 21st meeting? Is that okay? Okay.
Any other item on the consent calendar? All right, we'll open it up for public hearing. Anybody commenting on this item, please come forward. I don't have any, but yes, go ahead, Keith.
Yes, Mayor and Council. I did notice in the minutes for the last meeting, it showed that some items were being carried over. They had not, you didn't come to resolution on the suggestion for new staff positions. And the minutes indicated that the first 2 of those that were proposed are being held over. And I believe all those staff positions are on hold until further discussion by the council. So I think the minutes should reflect that all of them have been placed on that hold. That's
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Any
the chair.
other public comment on the consent calendar?
No, pardon
Seeing
me.
none, do we have anybody online? Whoop, go ahead.
To the previous speaker's comments, that has been amended on the minutes.
All right.
Thank you.
Nobody else? Okay. So we're closing the public comment on this item and bring it back to the city council for action.
Move approval for 4A, C, and D.
I'll second it with the addition of, or the change of making January 21st an actual meeting that we're going to have.
Moved and seconded, moved by Councilmember Juan, seconded by Councilmember Tillman. Will the city clerk please take the roll?
Certainly. And just for clarity, we are approving items 4A, C, and D, and item 4C is amended to include the January 21st meeting. And on that motion, Councilmember Cloven,
Aye.
Tillman,
Aye.
Juan,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Tripiano,
Aye.
Mayor Diaz.
Aye, thank you very much. Okay, we're now going to move into recognitions and presentations. And I got to tell you, I'm really pleased about the one that we're going to open up with here first. And I don't know if we've got an extra microphone, but I do want to ask Kent Ibsen to please come forward, and we'll get a microphone. Thank you.
I have one right here.
Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you, and
Hey,
I'm sorry I've been so evasive.
No, listen,
Yeah.
you're a busy guy, so we finally got it on the agenda. And I do want to make some comments, first of all, who helped contribute to this, and that is, I know Gary Hood contributed, Joe Madrano, but a lot of the detail in here was done by Ed Moresi. And he tuned us all up pretty good on this, so it's really very accurate on terms of what took place, because he was a manager for a number of years at the Pizza
It's
Hut.
probably more accurate than I would have provided you with. Yeah.
I always remember your homily at your father's funeral. I thought that was really, we didn't put any of that in there.
Oh,
But
that's
let me
nice.
Let me read this to you, and for the benefit of the public. First, whereas the City of Clayton gratefully acknowledges the invaluable contributions of Scipollini's Pizza Garden and the Ibsen family to the community, recognizing their unwavering dedication and support that has enriched the lives of the Clayton community. Whereas on May 3rd, 1974, Lester Skip Ibsen and his lovely wife,
Beverly.
yes, they opened up the Scipollini's restaurant downtown, and the first restaurant was once a residence that later occupied by the post office and then a craft store. Whereas Skip founded the restaurant on a very simple principle and credo: provide high-quality food in a unique, family-friendly environment at affordable prices. The success with restaurant over the past 5 decades, it's hard to believe, 5 decades, has been largely attributed to the Ibsen family's steadfast commitment to the business philosophy. Whereas the Prego pizza, this is a stellar pizza that they have there, for those of you that are familiar with that. That pizza, their masterpiece, has 13 different toppings on it, including extra onions and garlic. The pizza was loaded with fresh vegetables and 6 types of meats. The creation weighed over 4 pounds. And it's been said that it cured the hunger of several small nations. Whereas Scipollini's Pizza Garden stands as a highly acclaimed, revered, and legacy establishment throughout the Bay Area and beyond, serving at the cherished location and partner of our community. Whereas the philanthropic endeavors of Scipollini's Pizza Garden has resonated profoundly throughout the selfless dedication and timeless resources that the family has put forward to the City of Clayton, and in immeasurable ways. We can't even begin to measure what they've done. Whereas the City Council would also like to acknowledge the significant milestones in Skipolini's Pizza Garden journey. The City of Clayton commends the Ibsen family dedication to Clayton and its community. Now, Skip Ibsen founded the pizza parlor in 1974 and watched it grow under the leadership of his son, Kent. Kent has done a remarkable job with all the various locations throughout the greater Bay Area and, of course, in Reno, Nevada. And now he's even got a new restaurant that's pending to be open, and so we're looking forward to that.
This is a lot of pressure right here, yeah.
Everybody's anticipating it, Kent.
As am I.
Okay, and so therefore the mayor and the city council proudly presents this proclamation to the Ibsen family and to Kent on the 50th anniversary of the opening of Skipolini's Pizza Garden in sincere recognition of the Ibsen family and their unwavering commitment and dedication and service and esteemed value to the cities of Clayton and its community.
Can we just hug it out for a second?
Waiting for this for a long
I'm
time.
so
Kent.
sorry. Thank you.
Say a few words to the folks.
I will. I'm super happy to say a few words. So I am admittedly evasive. I enjoy flying under the radar. That's not easy for a guy that has a house out on the end of the hill. But my dad enjoyed the having his 1972 Blazer and driving down the hill. I always said you should just have a hand that waves to people because he was just so welcomed and revered in the community. And that doesn't happen to be who I am. Ed did a fantastic job with this, and I apologize to the entire team. I wasn't intentionally trying to be evasive. I just have a little bit of food on my plate right now. Right now, I'm about as busy as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. So, I want to share a couple stories about how, and there's a lot of people here, and this is a really uncomfortable position for me because typically I stand at these podiums either in Carmel or in Reno or in Sausalito, and people hate me, and I'm trying to create special things, and so it's a very uncomfortable, or it's not really uncomfortable, it's just a position I've never really been in where I don't think people hate me this evening, and so it's a pleasure to stand at this podium and share some of these stories. So a lot of the people in this chamber don't understand how this originated. I was in fourth grade at Mount Diablo Elementary School, and my dad came home. He was a toy salesman, and he said, we're going to open a pizza restaurant in Clayton. And at the time, I think Clayton had about a robust 790 to 800 people in the community. So I was like, oh, what are we going to do, Dad? And I'm as a fourth grader. So he's like, we're gonna open a pizza restaurant. And I was like, well, we don't even make pizza at home, Dad. I don't understand. I don't understand the concept. And he's like, so I was like, well, what are we going to call it? And he said, Skip Olini's. And I was like, I'm going to get beat up at school tomorrow. It's like, and I was only in fourth grade. It's like, but there is no K in Italian, so Skip doesn't work. And the good thing is he didn't know that the internet was going to sometime exist. And then if you type in Skipolini's, we immediately propagate to the top of the list because it's completely improperly spelled. And we're just right there. It's like, and which wound up being another part of his genius. But he also, so it was Skipolini's Pizza Garden, and I was in fourth grade at Mount Diablo Elementary, And everyone was talking about these sandwiches that we sold. We sold 3 sandwiches. No one would talk about the pizza. And it's like, so maybe this is where I got my business chops, because it was like, hey, Dad, I think this is a problem. Everyone's talking about the sandwiches, and it's like, I think our pizza sucks, actually. And he was like, I got the recipe out of the Joy of Cooking. And it was like, the Joy of Cooking is like, that's like, we've got to be better than that. And so I told my friend in 4th grade, it was like, I think we're going to go out of business. We're probably going to lose our home, and we're going to, be homeless. And so he went home, and he told his parents that my best friend is going to be homeless. And they're like, no, we'll just have Uncle Joey. He had a pizza stand in Manhattan his whole life. We'll have him teach him out what to do. And so this uncle came out to Clayton to the restaurant, and we didn't actually have our a preparation kitchen, a proper preparation kitchen, or a health department approved preparation kitchen at the restaurant. So we made all of the dough in our pool house at our house on Kenston Drive, 984 Kenston Drive. We don't own it anymore, so you guys can check it out. So there was a pool house there, and we had my brother and I would make dough and roll the dough balls, and my dad would take them down. And then it was really weird because most kids coming from Mount Dowell Elementary, afterwards, at that time, there was school sports, and you could play sports and things right after school. But I would tell our coach, which happened to be Herc Pardee, if you guys know him, he was our coach. And I was like, I got to go home and strip some bats of pepperoni and sausage and cut these things, and then and onions, and then I can pack those things, and then I can come back to the sports. And Herc would allow me to do that. But it was a really, and also the neighbors, it was a really weird thing, because you would have something like a U.S. food truck showing up to the house to our house on Kenston Drive, and there's like those. I mean, I know Skip's got 2 boys, but this is ridiculous. That's 100 pounds of flour, and what's he doing? Well, we'd all go to the pool house in the back, and then we would make it, and then my dad would take this 1972 Blazer and take it down to the downtown, and then eventually the Genovese Italian in my dad, which is not a Genovese Italian because he's actually Danish. My mom's the Italian. And he built this building next to it, which is the prep kitchen, which you see right now. But he built it separately because he didn't want to pay to connect the building and have the property taxes on it. So it was just everything was just about as weird as it gets. And that's the life that we were raised in. But it surely has become a really special thing, and we're incredibly proud of that brand that has moved from Walnut Creek to Reno, and we're likewise incredibly proud of the brand. And so all of the education, and a lot of the education, I have to say, when I graduated from Davis, I came back and I worked in the restaurant, and my dad was very clear, you work for Ed Moresi. Ed Moresi was the manager of our restaurant. Oh shit! I didn't. Now this is all gonna get weird. So my dad was very clear. It's like, you work for Ed, and so it's me and it's Ed and it's you. And so we started a little delivery operation because that started to be trendy at the time, and we were able to grow this thing. But shoot, I wasn't going to say this but now he's here. So, but he was a true mentor of mine. All of the love and grace that you guys experience in Clayton is because of him. So, we're opening a new place. I hope everyone enjoys it. But a lot of the credit goes to Ed. So, stow your wagons around all these places in Clayton that are glorious. And I'm going to admit this is not a restaurant hub. We have restaurants in lots of different places in the Western United States, but it's surely the best place to have one. And so circle the wagons around everyone that's here, because everyone gives their heart and soul to this community. This is super special. Thank you very much.
Skipolini's is truly a landmark and a legacy business here in Clayton.
Can we do a photo?
Pardon me?
A photo with him?
Well, let's get a photo. Come on, let's get a photo with the city council. We'll do that.
Okay with that, doing a photo with us?
Well, not right now.
Are you ready? Yeah, let's do a photo.
Could Ed come up too?
We'll just stand here and then you'll just go stand inside. Yeah, you're good to go. We'll need you to squeeze in a little closer, please. A little closer. Ready? Just to the center. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There's 4 of you there. Yes. But thankfully, we can't see the detail of your eyes, so if you're looking center, it just looks like you're looking straight. So we're good to go. Okay?
Okay. Well, tonight is a very special night, and we are honored to have our supervisor from the 4th District, Ken Carlson, here this evening with us. And I know Ken wants to make a presentation, and so I'm going to bring up Ken, come up to the podium, and let's hear from you.
Well, thank you, sir. I'm here tonight to, one, congratulate returning council members and yourself, Mayor Diaz, Councilmember Tillman, and recognize our Councilmember-elect Ania. But I also wanted to take a moment and thank our outgoing Councilmember, Peter Cloven. It's been a joy to work together, to partner with you on things. And, you know, as I think about where I am now and where I came from, it takes a lot. And I think all of us who've served the public, whether that's elected or as an employee or a staffer, but once you decide to enter public service and you put yourself through the grind of an election, and then you take on this role. And these last few years have been challenging for electeds between the pandemic and just politics in general. And so I just really want to just take a minute and thank you for, one, engaging in public service, taking on this challenge. And then, of course, from a personal perspective, your allyship with the LGBTQIA+ community. It's done a lot for the city of Clayton. It's done a lot for our community, and I just wanted to share with you my gratitude for that as well. And then on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, and I'm not going to read this, there's so much to celebrate tonight, but again, your work is exemplary, and I really am grateful for it, and the Board of Supervisors recognize that. And so on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, I just want to present you with this resolution, congratulating you on your service and thanking you for that service.
Thank you, Ken. Do you have a few words, Councilmember Cloven?
Wow. If you talk to my wife, she'll tell you that I'm a volunteer nut. I've been a volunteer for all my life because my mantra is you have to give back to things that give to you. And Clayton has given a lot to me and my family. So when I went on the city council, on the planning commission for three years, it was a great experience to get to know who we are as a city. And when I came in as a planning commissioner, I had a very jaundiced view of what city politics was about. I really thought very negative things about city politics. But when I got on and I realized that they actually listen and they want people to talk and put ideas, it's like, okay, I get this. When the 2020 election came around, I felt a calling to run. I didn't want to run, but I felt a calling to run. And I had multiple people say, Peter, please, we need you to run. And I didn't want to, but I ended up doing it. Like all callings, there are blessings and there are challenges. And this last 4 years has been full of them. We've been blessed with amazing staff who have graced our city hall. From Raina and her staff, to Brett and his staff, and now to Chris and your staff. I believe in people, and I believe our city hall is the front door to who we are as a city. And I value and respect each of you for everything you have done. And I know you don't always feel that, but I do. I care and deeply about your being successful and happy, because when you're successful and happy, you show who we are to the public when they knock on our front door. And that's been what I've tried to protect for the last 4 years, and it's been unsuccessful. I wish all the councilmen, the city staff that have been with us, a successful career wherever they go, including whatever happens to our current staff. We'll figure this out as a city in the future, because we definitely need staff who care and are here long term like we used to have. What has been the biggest thing that has been a blessing is to really honor what the CBCA and Hank Stratford and our schools did in our Do the Right Thing program. I value each of those characteristics, and it's just been a pleasure to be a part of that, to live those values, and to watch it in our children, and to celebrate it with the kids and their parents, and that is who we should espouse to be. It's not just for kids, as some council members have said. It's for all of us to actually live those values and to be that, so the kids actually see that in action. But more than anything, it's about the people. We are a really good people. Yeah, there are some eggs out there, but we are a real good people, good group of citizens. And I am honored to have been called your mayor and vice mayor and council member and planning commissioner, and to represent you outside of the city, and to meet incredible people and work with them on multiple committees, and go to the Cal cities and represent the city of Clayton and be your representative. It was so funny after I was elected to have people come up who I'd never met before. Oh, I voted for you. And thank you. I thank you for your support in putting me into office. But you know what's been really amazing is the last 6 months when I decided not to run for the campaign, that literally about 150 people who I do not know have reached out to me and said, I really wish you had run. Which, to me, is a sign that Clayton is watching. The fact that they are seeing that I made some difference, and they wish that I had run, means that there are people watching, and there is not a vacuum, and that we will wake up as a city and see what's going on. So thank you, Clayton. Thank you, residents. Thank you for all who have supported me. It's been an honor, and I'll be around. I'm not disappearing. I love this town, and I will continue to give back to it because it is given to me. Thanks.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Okay, we did have an informational item here, which requires no action, but we recognized Human Rights Day on December 10th, and just to let you know that took place. Also is on here is something that I received earlier in the week from the city manager, and I want to thank Senator Glazer for presenting the resolution to me, and I appreciate that very much. Okay, we're now finished with the recommendations and presentations, and I don't think we have any public comment. I think, Keith, did you want to address, I know I have a card here from you on this item. Did you wish to speak on this? Come right up.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Stole a little bit of my thunder with all the good comments you've had to make about the Ibsen family and what they've accomplished and what they've done for Clayton. So I also want to honor the Ibsen family for their anniversary, for Scipollini's, and also recognize how the small business that Skip started 50 years ago has really grown, and Kent has created an empire now. But it continues to be based on what he learned here in Clayton, and he's very proud of Clayton, and we're proud of him. He comes back to Clayton quite often. He still lives here. He's now going to be investing his time and efforts into establishing another restaurant here in Clayton. So they've just expanded all the benefit that they provide to Clayton over the years. And in addition to expanding the restaurant, they went into partnership with the Clayton Business and Community Association and created the bocce courts right next to it, the Ibsen Family Bocce Park. And that has been a blessing to the city of Clayton. The Bocce League conducts 3 different leagues there throughout the year, bringing more and more people into Clayton. And they all are so impressed with how that fits into our whole downtown feeling and atmosphere. And that's, again, a real honor of the Ibsen family has done by honoring the city of Clayton with that gift. So I wanted to comment on that. But as long as I'm here, I also wanted to thank Peter for his service. I saw Peter before he even served on the Planning Commission, and he got involved in some actions, and I think that was one of the areas that he saw that the city does listen to our citizens, and we asked them to get involved. And rather than sit back and complain about things, share your views with Clayton at the Planning Commission or City Council or any other event where you have that opportunity, because our city listens, our representatives listen, and we want that input to make sure we're headed in the right direction. Peter then saw the value of listening to those neighbors as more developments were being proposed, and then served on the Planning Commission and grew from there into the City Council. So it's been great to see Peter grow as well, to be a true community representative. So we really appreciate your service, Peter, and we'll miss you. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Anyone else in Hoyer Hall that would like to address the City Council and our esteemed honorees this evening? Anyone else in Hoyer Hall? How about online, City Clerk? We got anybody?
There are no speakers to this item.
Okay, then I'm going to close any public comments on this item as well. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll now move into the action items, and we have 2. The first one is to adopt a resolution appointing CalPERS retired annuitant Donald Mort to the position of interim chief of police and approve an employment contract pursuant to California Government Code Section 21221H. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Thank you. How about now? All right. Thank you, Mayor, members of council. As you are all aware, December 18th, which is tomorrow, is, tomorrow is Chief McEachin's last day here as our chief of police. He's accepted employment with the city of Atwater, so he'll be starting the very next day on December 19th. So in the interim, we need to place a police chief. And with that, Chief Donald Mort is being appointed to that position with concurrence with the council. He is not with us this evening. He's traveling, so he's on Zoom, and I'll give him an opportunity to speak. But I just wanted to give a brief bio of Chief Mort. Donald Mort is a retired law enforcement professional with over 40 years of public safety experience, combined with excellent executive management, supervisory, and community relations skills. He possesses strong leadership and management skills, is accomplished at developing productive teamwork and capable leadership in operational environments. He is also knowledgeable in development and implementation of long-term strategic plans aimed at enhancing services and developing and managing effective community-based policing programs. In his 40 years of experience, Chief Mort has accomplished the following. He has been the interim chief of police with the city of Sebastopol. He was the chief of police for 7 years with the city of Dixon. With the city of Concord, he served as police lieutenant, police sergeant, and officer. He's been a law enforcement trainer with Justice and Security Strategies from Silver Springs, Maryland, Academy and an advanced officer instructor and a scenario evaluator for the Office of the Sheriff's Office, Contra Costa County Law Enforcement Training Center, interim basic academy coordinator with Napa Valley College in criminal justice training, and most importantly, he knows Clayton, and he comes highly recommended by somebody who is familiar with Clayton and has been the interim police chief on 2 separate occasions, and a person that I trust very much in this regard. And so with that, I am requesting adopting a resolution to appoint Donald Mort as the interim police chief.
Okay, have we got any questions? Because I know I've got a couple. What's his tentative start date?
December the 26th.
26 December, okay. And he's going through the background process now and other steps that need to be done before he could be appointed.
He is cleared
Officially.
99% of it. We
Right.
have one thing
Okay.
left.
Anybody else have any questions? I will open it for public comment.
And he is on the line if you have questions for him as well.
Oh, is he?
Yes. If you'd like.
Yeah, let's bring him up if we can. Chief Mort, are you there?
Chief Mort is on and unmuted.
He's on?
Yes. and
Chief,
has
you're
access to
on.
the microphone.
He's not muted, is he?
No, he is unmuted.
Chief, are you out there? Hello? Knock, knock.
Chief, the audience awaits your pearls of wisdom. Okay, we'll skip that for this evening and bring it back. Any public comment on this item?
Sorry, I didn't fill out.
Come on up, Supervisor.
Fill out a card.
And I'm sorry he's not on, and he'll probably wish I sat down. Great choice. That is all I can say. I had the pleasure of, I had the pleasure, he might not think so, of working with Don. He managed to supervise and manage me, so that says a lot about his abilities and his skills. And I say that in sincerity. I mean, he was just an amazing individual to work with and work for. He managed me when I was part of the corporal program. And I'm gonna make a trip out to Clayton just to visit him, and we'll talk about canoes and paddling together as a team and all those other pearls of wisdom that he shared with those that he supervised and worked with. And not only just a tremendous law enforcement officer and manager, but he's just a great human being. So I'm really excited for him to come back to our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Anybody else in Hoyer Hall that wishes to make some comments on this item? Anybody online?
There's no one online for this item.
Okay, I'm going to close the public comment and bring it back to the city council for action.
Move approval.
Moved by Councilmember Juan,
I'll second it.
seconded by Vice Mayor Trupiano. Any further discussion? Hearing none, would the city clerk please call the roll?
On that motion, Councilmember Cloven,
Aye.
Tillman,
Aye.
Juan,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Tripiano,
Aye.
Mayor Diaz.
Yes.
Thank you. Have
Okay,
five
very
ayes.
good. We'll now move to item 6B, and that is adopt a professional services agreement with Four Leaf Incorporated to provide code enforcement services, including the staffing of the position of code enforcement officer for 1 year for a term ending, or effective December 5th, and going for 1 year forward. And the amount of the salary is not to exceed $100,000 per year with a 3% annual escalator. Assistant City Manager, please.
Good evening, Council. This contract is for Four Leaf to provide the code enforcement services that are currently being provided. The council they took action back on June 4th and authorized a contract with Four Leaf to not to exceed $90,000. That $90,000 has been exceeded. So we went out for an RFQ looking for qualified vendors. We received 3 proposals. Four Leaf was the most responsive in respect to the code enforcement services. So we're asking for a contract for 1 year with 4 one-year extensions, meaning we can get out of it after the first year if we look and decide that we want to do something different. The contract, we are asking not to exceed $100,000 per year. This allows the code enforcement officer to work a little bit more than 2 days a week for all 52 weeks out of the year. And it gives us a little bit of a buffer in case there's something major that comes up that we are not necessarily anticipating, but we're asking for it not to exceed $100,000 per year. If we elect that we want to move forward again with Four Leaf in 1 year from now, what you're authorizing tonight will allow us to do so in 1 year increments, and the contract will allow for 3% escalator per year. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Comments, questions from our city council?
I have a couple of questions. Thank you, Regina. So that first question, that RFQ was not just for code enforcement, though, was it? Was it for community development and?
Correct. When we went out for the RFQ, I refer to it as a menu. So they could have applied for the code enforcement, they could have applied for the community development, they could have applied for both, and the city was able to select which one we wanted to go with which vendor. So in this case, this is just for code enforcement, and it's just with Four Leaf, because Four Leaf has done, in my mind, a fantastic job with their recent code enforcement person.
And when you said they were the most responsive, did you mean responsive to the RFQ that they?
Correct.
Were they the least expensive? Were they?
Well, with an RFQ, you give points for different things, and one of them was price.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. Because I guess, and I did have this discussion earlier today with our city manager, we just approved the interim chief of police contract at $83.60 an hour, and now we're looking at a code enforcement officer at $108 an hour. And I realize it's through an agency, but it seems $100,000 sounds like a lot of money to me for somebody who's working 2 days a week. And I know Jason McKinley specifically has done an amazing job. He came in here, he cleaned up 2023, cleaned up 2024. He's been very proactive. I guess I don't know, does he have a lot more to do? And does it still warrant 2 days a week at $100,000 a year?
And with this contract, he doesn't have to work 2 days a week. If we get to a point in even a month from now where we say that, okay, Jason, your work here is really good, and we do want to pull him back to 1 day a week, we have that option. What we're saying is that this contract cannot exceed $100,000 per year.
No, I understand that too. And I guess the other thing I want to just throw out is, could there be an on-call service? Would Four Leaf do an on-call, like kind of an as-needed?
They would. However, we're not necessarily guaranteed Jason. It would be whoever they would have available at that time.
Right, okay. All right, those are some of my initial questions. Anybody else?
Thank you. Yeah, I had some similar thoughts, so I won't rehash the same, but it does seem to me that this item is somewhat adjacent to the item that we continued from the prior meeting in terms of how we want to do what I'm thinking about as org design in terms of staffing and where we're essentially placing our resources. At 2 days a week for a maximum of 2 days a week, let's say, at $100,000, it seems to me that it makes me question the larger picture of how we staff and if it makes sense to do someone at 2 days a week, whereas if we were to get a person as an FTE for 5 days, they could then do this work as well as other work, probably for around the same dollars. And so, I've said this a few times when we had these discussions, the holistic view of how we do staffing, I think, is really important, because if we do decision-making piecemeal, what could happen is we could make this decision and then the next and then the next, and at the end, you could get to a place where you would not have gotten to, or you would not have chosen to go to if you had seen the whole picture all at once. So, I have a little bit of concern with that. And then I will say, I think Jason's work is great. Like, his reports are probably the highlight of my reading of the staff report. But I will say that historically, Clayton has always been done code enforcement on a complaint-driven basis. So if there's an issue, a resident can identify it, and then we would allocate the resources on a prioritization basis, and then address it appropriately. And I think that works really well for us. And there was a point where I think Four Leaf got a little exuberant in the activities and started, kind of like just patrolling the neighborhoods, which is, if you patrol long enough, I'm sure you'll find things. But I don't necessarily think that's the way we want to go. And so I think that this is, I would say, it feels like this is more than what an optimal level of service would be for our needs. And I'd like to have this discussion alongside of the overall org design discussion, because I think it will coalesce better if we can discuss it holistically. So that's my comments.
Councilmember Tillman.
Thank you, Mayor Diaz. I concur with both Vice Mayor Trupiano and Councilmember Juan, especially since in previous staffing in the org chart, we had code enforcement was also the front desk admin. And I would like us to consider going back to that, because I am having a hard time with someone who's working 2 days per week, possibly for the next 52 weeks, and they're making $100,000. I mean, lucky them. However,
Can I correct that statement?
You probably should.
That employee is not making $100,000. We're paying that to the company that he works for.
Okay, but even
So that includes all of his, the taxes, the employer's taxes, that employee's benefits, that includes the vehicle and the gasoline of the company for him to drive around the community, and that is an all-inclusive dollar. That's not what he personally is making.
Okay, that is fair. So it is, for that position, it's $100,000 for 2 days a week. How much were we paying for the prior person in that role as a full-time employee?
I don't have that number, Councilmember Tillman, but we would have to look at providing that person a vehicle and the fuel that would be involved with that vehicle, the maintenance that's involved with that vehicle. So we would have to bring back to you a full picture of that.
That would be great.
Okay.
In addition to what Councilmember Juan was saying, I do think that we need to consider having that person go back to doing the dual role. As I mentioned, it was the front desk admin, as well as code enforcement, and this goes back to 2020.
Okay.
And she was here for a bit of time prior to that, doing a dual role. So I am curious, one, what she was making back then, and I can give you her name later, but I think that that's what we should go back to revisit. I just think that this is a bit excessive, even if it is going to a staffing firm. Thank you.
Can I add one more comment?
Go ahead.
Because you sparked a thought. Okay. You know, we have limited resources, and I think this is one of the things that we can get the best code enforcement ever if we want to, but it's really a matter of where we're allocating our resources and if it is the highest best use to dedicate that to code enforcement. And I'm not changing anything. That to me is how I think about the resource allocation. It's, we have to make choices on what we prioritize, and I think having the very best code enforcement is wonderful, but it's not necessarily where I would, dedicate scarce resources. So.
Just on some basic math, what's the hourly rate? 108, 100, what is it?
Yes, the hourly rate is $108 per hour.
Okay.
At 16 hours a week, it's about 89,000.
That's what I figured. So there's not much wiggle room, and it seems really, in my mind, a little bit top-heavy in pay for what the job is. And I still would like to hear what we paid our other full-time employee on that left recently. It would be interesting to know that number.
Yeah,
So-
and I think it was sooner than 2020. When I spoke to our city manager today, I believe we had somebody doing code enforcement and facilities rental and maybe even business licensing. So I know those kind of things maybe don't all go together, but I think it should be part of our organization discussion.
Agreed.
I just had-
Councilmember Tillman.
Just one more question. Does the staffing agency set the rate, or is that negotiable?
They set the rate.
Thank you. Okay.
Any other comments? This is one that sounds like it needs a little more work to be brought in with the other positions that are under review at this point. So it sounds like it's pretty unanimous from the city council that we need to send this back and have some fine tuning done. Yes, go ahead.
And where does that leave us with the contract, which if we've spent the 90,000 already, does that mean
That means we're out of compliance and we cannot move farther with 4-leaf at this time.
Cannot.
Correct.
Okay.
Because that one was executed, in June?
June.
So it's been 6.5 months.
It was
and we've-
90,000
And it was a
for 6
90K
months.
cap. So how much into them are we?
Close to
Closer
30,
to-
closer to 35,000.
Well, it was
'Cause
90 for
it was
6
It was
months,
expiring in October.
but it was for community development and code enforcement
Yes.
services. And so
Okay.
this is just code enforcement.
Correct.
Okay, I think we've got direction. I am going to ask for some public comment if anybody wants to speak on this issue. Anybody here in Hoyer Hall? No hands? Anybody online, City Clerk?
There are no speakers
Nothing?
online.
Okay, then we'll close the public comment, and it appears that the direction from the city council is to take it back to staff and do some more work on it. That general consensus? Okay, that concludes item 6B. Item 7A, report of the city manager and staff.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple quick updates. Most people in this room may be familiar with our Climatech solar project, or larger than solar environmental project. We are currently working on the solar piece of the project and the EV charging station, which will be placed in this complex. Right now, the plans are with permitting with the county, and we are moving forward for hopefully a spring completion, but that's not a firm date. As we get a little more solidified, we will be bringing Climatech in to do a presentation to the council and for the community. So more to come on that after the new year. As I mentioned earlier, tomorrow is Chief McEachin's last day, so we wish him the best in his new endeavors. And finally, I attended the annual tree lighting at the Grove on December 7th. Had an opportunity to talk to some folks there and say a few words. Great event. It's wonderful to see the community come together. I have a very strong background in parks and recreation, and events like that are a core belief to me that is one thing that strengthens community, is events that bring people together of different backgrounds and have an opportunity to celebrate in one space. So I really enjoyed my time there, and it was a well-done event, and I'm thankful for the invitation to attend. And that concludes my report tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Public hearings, item 8, no public items, or public hearing items, so we're done with that. Item 9 is council items limited to requests and directives for future meetings. Okay.
It looks like we combined that one, or maybe not. Mine is just a request that I've been asking since October of 2023, the same request, and much to the chagrin of people in the audience, it sounds like they don't want me to say it, but I will. And that's for us to agendize coming back to the council, for us to discuss not only council's behavior, but figuring out why staff leave. I think it's very important that we do this, and until we do, I'm going to keep asking for it to come back to an agenda item. I've mentioned it every single month since October of 2023, and I'm imploring our council to add it to the agenda so that we can understand why we have continuous staff turnover. I think we owe it to our staff to make sure that we have their best interest at heart and to get to the root of it. So if we can please add that to a future agenda item. Thank you.
Anyone else? The only thing I want to keep in mind is that with the item I brought up a month or two ago on the creation of a city flag, we need to look at that for next year. Not any specific time, but just not to lose track on that. All right, anything else for council future directives? Nothing? Then I'm going to move on to item 10, which is council reports. And we'll start off with Councilmember Cloven.
I have nothing to report.
Nothing? Okay, Councilmember One.
Just a lot of communication with constituents, email and phone, so that's it.
Okay. Councilmember Tillman.
I'll keep it really brief. In November, I had a CBCA appreciation dinner, and we got to honor several CBCA founding members, notably Gloria Utley and John Rubiales Sr., as well as Sue White, for their efforts in starting that organization 40 years ago. I attended the downtown decoration for the bocce courts to get ready for the holiday celebration, which was in December. And we had the holidays in the Grove that the city manager just mentioned. Kudos to Debbie Bruno and her volunteer team of putting all of that together for us. And then I also attended our League of California Cities Leaders Workshop. As I mentioned, I'm the second vice president on our East Bay Division Board, and I just wanted to let you know what the 4 priorities are for the league this year. It's safeguarding local revenues and bolster local economic development, strengthening climate change resiliency and disaster preparedness, improving public safety in California communities, and expand investments to prevent and reduce homelessness and increase the supply of affordable housing. Several of those were important and that I actually helped vote for, and that was a disaster preparedness piece, especially because we have wildfires in our area. So there'll be more to come on that. I won't belabor this because I know we have other things to get to, so I will send it to city staff to put on the website if you guys would not mind. And then I also had our East Bay Division Board meeting last week, and we developed our schedule and meeting topics. Starting this coming year, we are going to have a new member mixer, and that's to help introduce newly elected council members to our region and to the East Bay. Councilmember-elect Ania Senior was there, and he was present, and we had our holiday reception. He was present at the holiday reception, not my board meeting. Meetings with City Manager Regina, and I'll stop there.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Trupiano.
Thank you, Mayor. Just very briefly, I was also at the annual tree lighting and holiday ceremony. Beautiful job by CBCA and the city. Oh, is that the reverb? Yeah, I heard that echo. I thought it was a beautiful night, and it was good to see everybody come together, and Debbie Bruno does an amazing job every year. She's awesome. We did have a Climate Tech meeting, and so that project is moving forward again, encouraging, and hopefully we'll have an update from Climate Tech early next year. And yesterday, it was my last meeting as the chair of the East Contra Costa Habitat Conservancy as their chair. I'll hopefully will remain on that committee next year, but they are very instrumental in helping conserve our community. We approved the 2025 budget and their work plan for 2025. And so that's my whole report. Oh, and I just want to remind folks, while we're talking about events, that the menorah lighting for Hanukkah begins on Christmas. It's also the same day, December 25th through January 2nd at 6 p.m. at the Corral. And so everyone's invited to come out for that.
Okay, thank you. All I have is a couple of real quick items. I did attend the tree lighting ceremony at the Grove Park, the Mayor's Conference in San Pablo, and Wreaths Across America. We spent a very windy, wet, and we had to dodge one of the pop-ups that took off in flight. Anyway, it was a wonderful day. We all got to place wreaths on the sites where a number of veterans had been buried at the Memory Garden Cemetery in Concord. It was a wonderful day. Thank you very much for that. Okay, now, we already did 9 or 11. Didn't tell you, but I moved it up there when we were doing all the recognitions. So we already did that with Councilmember Cloven and Supervisor Ken Carlson. I'm now going to bring back item 4B, which is to adopt the resolution on the certification of the election, and I'll turn it over to the city clerk.
This item is to certify the election of the successful candidates. We have Richard G. Ania, and just for the record, he prefers to be referred to as Richard G. Ania. He is not senior. Then we also have Leticia Holly Tillman and Mr. Jim Diaz as our 3 successful candidates with a new term end date of November 2028.
Is there any action we need to take?
Yes, you will need to adopt the certification.
Okay, I'm going to open up for public comment at this time. If there's anybody here in Hoyer Hall that would wish to address this item. Okay, doesn't seem like anybody wishes to address this. How about online?
No members of the public wishing to speak to this item.
Good, thank you. Closing public comment on this item, and we now bring it back to the City Council for action.
Move approval.
Second?
Moved by Councilmember Juan, seconded by Councilmember Cloven. Will the city clerk please take the roll?
Thank you. And on that motion, Councilmember Cloven.
For the last time, aye.
Tillman?
Aye.
Juan?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Trupiano?
Aye.
Mayor Diaz?
Yes.
Thank you. You have
Okay,
5
good.
ayes.
Well, we're all official now. Okay, I want to now move to item 12, which is the swearing in of re-elected and the newly elected council members. So the city clerk will administer that, and let's have everybody stand up and be counted. Oh, in front? You want us in front? All right, so we'll do that.
I think it's better here. I'll stand off to the side.
I've been calling you Rich Ania Senior this whole time. I apologize. You gotta tell me. Oh my God. That's awesome.
Okay. Microphone on. You can't, okay. Actually. Okay, we're on. Okay. If the newly elected members can please raise their right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
Jim Diaz.
Leticia Holly Tillman.
Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend.
That I will support and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California
Against all enemies.
against all enemies,
Foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
I will bear true faith and allegiance
To the Constitution of the United States.
to the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely
Without any mental reservation.
without any mental reservation
Or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
I will well and faithfully
Discharge the duties.
discharge the duties
Upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, you're all now sworn in members of the City Council. Congratulations, congratulations. Yes, you'll see.
All right. The moment has arrived. All right, okay, we've done the swearing in, and now we will move to the annual reorganization of the City of Clayton City Council. And the first is the election of the mayor, and I nominate Vice Mayor Kim Trupiano to the position of mayor.
I'll second.
And by the way, there is no second required on this motion. So now I'm going to open it up for public comment on this. Anybody wish to speak here in Hoyle Hall on this matter? Anybody online?
There are no speakers to this item online.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll close the public comment on that, and we will call for the roll. Oh, first of all, we got to get a motion. I made the motion. Doesn't need a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then on that motion, Councilmember Ania,
Yes.
Tillman,
Aye.
Diaz,
Yes.
Juan,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Tripiano.
Yes.
Thank you. You have 5 ayes.
You're now official. I'm going to move and let you sit at the center table here. Let me unplug my device. Okay.
Here's your phone. Oh, look
It's
at
okay,
you
there's
doing
no
the
rush.
switcheroo. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. And now I'd like to open up the election of vice mayor for one-year term, December 2024 to December 2025. And I nominate Councilmember Juan. Does it need a second?
No second needed.
Okay, then I guess we have a roll call.
No?
No?
Public comment.
Oh, public comment, thank you. Public comment. Anyone online?
There's no one wishing to speak to this online.
Okay, then we will take the roll.
I'd like to make a comment. I think, given that your redemption or his redemption, I've been passed over twice. I served as vice mayor in 2022. I did not get to be mayor the following year, nor the year after that. So I think that I have earned to be vice mayor for this upcoming year. Therefore, I make a substitute motion for me to serve as vice mayor for the year 2025.
It's actually not a motion, it's a nomination. So there's no substitute to be made. You can make multiple nominations for anyone.
Okay, then I nominate myself to be vice mayor.
City clerk,
And
how do we proceed then?
Okay, so just for the record, there is no public comment to this item. So we would take the motions or the nominations in the order received, and the first candidate to get to 3 successful votes would have the position. Was there a member of the public that wanted to speak to this item?
Okay,
But I did not close it. I do not have the
And we
authority
are
to close it.
voting
Yeah.
on the position of vice mayor with Jeff Wan being nominated.
okay. Oh,
Is this okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
The mayor
Yes,
says
Ms.
we have
Kendall.
public comment.
Good evening, everyone. Council Member Tillman has served our community faithfully. She has shown dedication in all areas of the community, not just while on council, but for many, many years as to supporting so many. The schools, everything she's done, all the work with the CBCA. And I'm shocked right now, and I would hope that out of respect for her diligence and her work and throughout the regions on the state level, that we could show respect. And this is really upsetting. We could show respect and do a line of succession as it has been done in the past. And just respect and honoring somebody who works so terribly hard for all of us.
thank you, Ms. Kendorf. Is there anybody else who would like to? Mr. Hayden?
Yes, Mayor and Council, I feel compelled just to remind the council that in the past, typically the council does look at the serving members of the council when they decide to appoint the vice mayor, and they look at the council member with the longest service on the council that has not already served as mayor. And that's the primary qualification that is looked for to keep the tradition of every year rotating the mayor's position to a elected representative who has not had that opportunity. So I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you, Mr. Hayden. Is there anybody else in Hoyer Hall that wants to comment? City Clerk, anyone online?
We have 2 speakers
Okay.
online.
Okay.
Terry D., your microphone is available.
Hi, this is actually Scott. I must be signed into my wife's account. So I just want to echo what Ms. Kindorf said. I'm kind of saddened. We, as always, talk about doing the right thing, and this is not doing the right thing. And in fact, this is what really saddens me is this is political retaliation. I'll just say it plain and simple. Jeff and Kim are upset that they feel Jeff was passed over for mayor a while back. Holly's already paid the price once, and now they're making her pay it again. And that is not doing the right thing. I'm just sorry, guys, it's not. So I imagine my voice and other voices in the community will not be listened to because you guys are going to plod forward with your agenda like you usually do. But I would appreciate if the community members that have spoken tonight would have the opportunity to be heard. But the ball's in your hands. The choice is yours. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your
Thank you,
comment.
Mr. Denso.
Thank you. Next speaker, Matt Tillman. Your microphone is available.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. So first of all, congratulations to everyone that has been reelected or elected to council this term. Unfortunately, I cannot be there personally, but you know, watching what is going on caused me, to have no other choice but to call in and express my opinion. Yes, I am Matt Tillman, the husband of Holly Tillman. I think that when we look at what's going on in our city, there continues to be tremendous divide. This divide will continue to happen unless we do the right decision right now. This is an opportunity for everyone on council to help prevent this divide from continuing as we continue to move forward. There is zero reason why Holly should not be nominated for vice mayor. She has done more than probably any other city council member has done for this city. The fact that in the current election, she is the second highest vote getter and has been on council now for her second term without the opportunity of becoming mayor. And I understand the first election going through what we went through before. But if we're trying to heal the divide within the city, there is zero chance for us to do that if we continue down the path that we're going by nominating Jeff Wan as the actual vice mayor going forward. So while I know how this works, and unfortunately, the opinions of the community are not necessarily listened to or considered, I just definitely wanted to share and express my opinion and my support for my wife for vice mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tillman. Thank you. City Clerk, is there anybody else online?
There are no additional speakers.
Okay. So,
Are you closing?
yes,
Okay,
I'm
so-
closing public comment. Thank you. And let's go back to
Okay.
our roll call.
Thank you. On the first nomination of Councilmember Juan as vice mayor, Councilmember Ania,
Yes.
Diaz,
Yes.
Councilmember Tillman,
No.
Juan.
Aye.
Thank you. The first nomination has succeeded with 3 votes.
Yes, okay, thank you. And I know that we probably want to have some closing remarks. Would like to go last. I know that the mayor, outgoing mayor Diaz would like to say a few words. I'm sure Councilmember Ania would like to say a few words. So, Councilmember Ania, would you like to go first?
First of all, I wanted to thank you for voting for me. And this will be my 4th time on a city council, my first time in Clayton, 3 other times in Crescent City. And just for, by the way, in some cities, election of a vice mayor are different. For example, I know cities where the highest vote getter is named vice mayor for the privilege of getting the highest votes. So we'll stop that subject. As far as division, I'm working on that. And as you know, being a policeman for 30 years, always worked on people arguing with each other, as Supervisor Carlson can surely tell you. So my thing is getting people together. And in Clayton, it's not said that what I've heard before is that people don't know what's going on. When almost 85% of our residents voted, that's the highest in the county. People know what's going on.
They might not always come out to council meetings because they expect us to do the right thing. That's why they voted for us. But I'm going to keep the community together as best I can. I'm going to keep my promises. Remember the 3 that I made: public safety, financial stability, and our landscape maintenance. And you know, in a lot of places, people used to laugh at me about that when I tell them landscape maintenance. That's all. I mean, I was reading about a city today in the paper. They're about to go bankrupt. Big city. They didn't spend their money properly, and we have to spend our money properly. And so there's many things that we can do to do that. And number 1 for me, and I've said it during the campaign, is public safety. We've needed another officer in this city. I retired 20 years ago tomorrow night. We needed one then, and we needed one 10 years before that. So for 30 years, we've needed another officer. In fact, a lot of people don't know, we had an officer shot and killed here in the 1970s because he was working by himself on the midnight shift because the city council would not add any policemen in those days, police officers. There's a plaque at the police station. So I don't want to repeat things that have happened in the past. For me, I'm always available. You can call me. I put my phone number out to the public. You could reach me. I'm going to set up my phone so that when you call it at City Hall, it rings on my personal iPhone. I believe in talking to people right away and getting back at what your questions are, whatever it is. When I was in Crescent City, you know what the big thing was? And it's a big thing here too. Street lights. My street lights out. They called me. I called City Hall, and they fixed it, even though we had a number to call City Hall to fix the lights. It's the same thing in Clayton. I can tell you, there's a lot of street lights out. People want to do that. That's security, safety, and let me tell you, when you come home at night and your street light is out, it might be a minor thing to a lot of people. Who did they think of the first time? The damn city is not responding to me. Little things like that, like our parks, to keep our parks clean. Things like that, our trails. So there's a lot of things like that. I sort of get into the details because that's what I wanted. As a resident, that's what I want. And I'm on our homeowners board in Black Diamond, and so I listen to people all the time about things. And I wanted to tell you that it's nice to come back on the council. When I was in Crescent City, I was on the board of the Redwood Empire Association. That's the League of California Cities that Member Tillman is on for the East Bay Division. In fact, I was on the Public Safety Committee for the state, the committee there for the state, to try to pass some laws. And I'm glad I'm going to go back to that if I can, because we need to go back to some of those laws. And let's see. I think that's about it. Once again, I want to thank the voters for voting me in, and I promise that I'm going to fight for those points that I made, and I'm going to be I'm a respectful person, and I'm going to get along with our council members. And there's one more thing I wanted to say. I've been going to the council meetings here for about over 2 years now, and I've listened, and as Council Member Tillman said, it's been since October of 23 about why people leave. I could tell you that for 30 years because there's no pay here. People leave for better jobs. That's why they leave. Police departments last in pay in this county. That's nothing to be proud of. You know, we're starting to pay our administrators more. We don't have a lot of money, but that's why people leave. So we don't have to hire a consultant or an investigator to do that because I know the reason. And I think everybody in the city knows the reason. It's low pay. And I do agree, though, that we should have a council, I don't want to call it a conference, but a council meeting that the League of California has people to do. Our council can meet together and discuss items and discuss interpersonal relationships. We did that in Crescent City. They came up there. It's very good to learn about what our priorities should be and how to get along and items like that. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you, Councilmember Ania. Councilmember Diaz.
Thank you. I too want to thank all of the voters of Clayton that re-elected me for another term. I very much appreciate it, and I am still committed to keeping Clayton's small town charm and character. That has been one of the top priorities, aside from public safety. So I'm always available. My number is published on the city website. People call me, and we take care of action right away. One of the things that has been circulated around the county is the fact that Clayton is in financial straits. That is absolutely untrue. We have reserves of over $7 million. Our budget is $5 million. In addition to that, we have another $7 to $8 million of investments. So I don't know how that got started, but every time I go to the mayor's conference, somebody will walk up to me, I hear Clayton is in dire straits. Wrong. We are in very good shape. We have put in place two things. One, we have an excellent finance and audit committee. Secondly, we also have a short-term committee called the Community Financial Sustainability Committee. 3 credentialed individuals, CPA, CFA, you name it. These 3 individuals have financial strength and background. They know what the hell they're talking about. And we're going to have them give us a good understanding of where we stand both on our revenue and our expenses. I also want to thank the city staff. The city staff has been key and instrumental in making sure there is stability here in Clayton. Yes, our police chief is going, but as Councilmember Ania just mentioned, he's moving to a department that's 3 times the size of the one he oversees here. You can't forget that. 11 officers here, 31 there. 2 staff, 13 staff. And he's got a budget that is 3 times the budget of Clayton. But more importantly, not only for his personal growth, he's only 20 minutes from home. So we have a good staff. They are committed to making Clayton positioned for success, which I have been talking about for the past year. And finally, I want to mention one small little thing that really gets a lot of attention. That's the United States Post Office. I have been working with the acting postmaster over there to get all the weeds cleaned up and all of the grounds looking better. He's restriped the place and he's repainted it. It is now a very stellar looking operation. Plus, he's doing very well with development of his staff. So, been a successful year. I look forward to the new year for this city council and Clayton. Thank you.
And thank you, Councilmember Diaz. You've done an excellent job this year. And I just want to have a few remarks before we have our refreshments.
I think.
Oh, I didn't realize everybody wanted to say something. Go ahead. Councilmember Tillman, sorry.
Yep. Thank you. I would also like to thank all of my supporters and the residents of Clayton for voting for me. Your support for the last 4+ months has been tremendous. Running into people in the pharmacy, in the grocery store, on the street, expressing why they do support my candidacy and me serving another term it's been amazing. This was not an easy campaign to run, as I mentioned every time I took to the podium when we had a chance to. And part of the reason for all of those issues are standing and sitting in the back of the room. I think that if we're going to applaud what just happened in passing me over, I think that you guys need to take a very critical look at yourselves and realize and recognize that you have a lot to do with the city turnover. That is why I'm calling for the investigation. And so while I can appreciate that the council member thinks it's only pay, that's part of the puzzle. You're not privy to what was said behind closed doors, in closed session. The rest of my council members are. That is why it's not being agendized. I think until we get to the root of that, we're going to continue to have turnover. We should all be embarrassed that that is the legacy that we are continuing on with. And I would implore all of us to work together to ensure that doesn't continue to happen. Having the excuse that we're the lowest paid or our staff are the lowest paid should not be something that we're proud of. It should be something that we try to fix. The only way to fix that is to increase revenues. So unless we're going to decide as a council that we want to use our reserves for more than just one-time expenses, we have to figure out how we're going to afford to pay more staff, get the staffing that, if we're set up for success, the way that Councilmember Diaz keeps saying, then we need to make sure that we're giving our city manager and our assistant city manager what they're asking for. They're asking for staff members to come back to the third floor. In order to do that, we have to be able to pay them. We just had a discussion earlier today about how much we can afford to pay. So I'm excited that there are 5 of us up here who actually want to address that, because that's the only way we're going to be able to keep staff in the building. Not allowing residents that are in town to continue to harass them, sending out their ridiculous flyers and emails and PRA requests, inundating staff all day long so that they cannot continue to get their work done. That's part of the problem that we have. Oh, you guys are just so happy. When you guys eat crow, I can't wait. It's you 4 sitting right back there. I'm imploring you guys to please, if you really want to help the city, do just that. Don't be troublemakers. What you're doing is not helpful. I know 20 years ago, you were called a mover and shaker, Mr. Hood. You no longer are. All you're doing is moving and shaking city staff out of town. I'm imploring you to please stop doing that. I would also like Clayton Watch to remove my email from your distribution list. You do not have an unsubscribe button on there. You need to add that. Your PAC needs to do that. It's illegal. Please do it, because right now you're spamming everybody. I have no way of telling you to do that because there's no button. So I'm publicly asking you to please unsubscribe my email address. Now, back to the residents. What I would like to do, and I'm ready to begin implementing our goals that we set forth this past spring. We did that when Adam was here as our interim city manager. We talked about them, and then we had a session this summer, and we were waiting for Mr. Loftus to come on board so that we can actually discuss those and begin implementing them in 2025. I think it's very important that we do that coming in January. There was time for you to be able to get up to speed. I know for you guys, you want to be able to have staff on board. That's critical. But I'm going to continue to advocate for public safety, our beautiful neighborhoods, accessible infrastructure. We need to make sure that our seniors and our students and children in town have a way to get around town easily. I know that some of our sidewalks are in disrepair and that we do have that program to fix that, but we've had ADA complaints from residents for several years that need to be addressed. I know that we are improving some things on our streets as far as crossing and making that safer for them. But the Trails and Landscape Committee, that poor committee has been neglected for several months. And I know that's because we have continued turnover. And this is what happens when you don't have staff, is you can't get anything done. Maybe that's by design, but it's not helpful. But that's part of the reason why we can't ever move the needle and get work done in town, is because there's constant turnover and we're in lack of staff. So in order for us to get this work done with the trails, where we have an oak tree that's falling, and I know that we have a FEMA grant to take care of that, but it's more than just that. We actually need to look at the entire trail system as well as our landscaping. That way no more flyers about weeds can go out saying that council members or staff are not doing their job, or that the maintenance team isn't. This staff is working hard with the few people that they do have, and they're doing an amazing job in all of the departments. We owe it to them as council members to give them the tools and the resources that they need and deserve to get their work done. And I'm hoping that that's something that we can start doing in January of 2025. So thank you again to everyone who voted for me. I'm looking forward to serving for another 2 years, regardless of people trying to make it difficult. I don't need a title to lead. I do it regardless. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Tillman. Vice Mayor Wand, is there anything you'd like to say before I conclude the meeting?
Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So I want to thank everyone for their support this evening, and I am honored to be elected as your, nominated as your next mayor of the city of Clayton. I especially want to thank my husband, who I hope you weren't referring to, standing in the back of the room, for all of his love and support. Thank you, honey. And he's been by me every step of the way. I want to thank all the candidates who ran for office. I know how hard it is. It takes a lot of dedication. So congratulations to all the candidates who won and those that did not. Don't give up. We have a busy year ahead of us, and we really need to roll up our sleeves and get down to business. My focus this coming year will be on addressing the needs of the city that have been neglected for far too long, including long-deferred infrastructure improvements, addressing additional staffing needs, continued strong public safety, and bringing this community together. And I will personally work hard to help heal the divide in this city. And I'm committed to dealing in truth and transparency, not false narratives and misinformation. I refuse to portray Clayton in a poor light, and we are far from a city in decline. In fact, we are the envy of many neighboring municipalities. I hear it all the time. I'm sure you do as well. We are very fortunate to live in a beautiful city that's safe. Thank you to our police department. We have natural beauty, wonderful schools, a robust financial reserve, and a strong sense of community spirit. And that's evidenced by our amazing events in our city throughout the year. But we need to work together to achieve these goals, and I know I can't do it alone, so I'm asking each of you to help me and work together, collaborate, respect one another, so that we can achieve these results for the good of the community, the staff, and that is a very important one for me, and the people who sent us all here, because the people demand this from us. They told us that in a community survey earlier this year. They want us to get along and get you-know-what done. And so that's what I'm hoping we're going to be able to do. You know what that word is. So I'm asking you and joining me to work together to improve our relationship with one another. And I love the idea of good governance training. Councilmember Annie, I think that's great. Help support our city staff, because I truly believe that we're stronger together. And here's to a great 2025. I invite you to join us for wonderful refreshments provided by our city clerk, who did some really special treats for us. Happy holidays, and we'll see you at our next meeting on January 7th. What? Oh, yes, we have a special announcement in closing. Go ahead.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we lost another family member of the city of Clayton. For those of you that remember Leo Sanders, he's a former mayor and city council member back from the 70s and 80s. He was very much involved in the real estate market. In fact, he was the president of the Real Estate Association. He passed away on December 3rd, age 90. Leo was a wonderful guy. We would like to close the meeting in his honor and his memory. Thank you.
Okay, and our meeting, what is the time right now? 8:48, we will adjourn. 8:38, sorry, thank you. We will adjourn, thank you.